It doesn't matter. It still made sense.
What you think is a red flag, like, I could look at you and think you a walking red flag. Like,
sure.
I could, if me and my girls was walking down the street, we would not be looking at you like, look at that green flag, you know? Just like, you would probably not be looking at me like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, but in general.
That's fine. We can talk about we could have a conversation about other red flags. Right now we're talking about tattoos.
Okay, continue. Come on then.
Yeah, my position is that typically tattoos are red flags.
That's your opinion, sis.
It's not just my opinion.
That's your
Well, something that you stated earlier was on Hinge, the app that you use the most, is that men are dusty, crusty. Men on Hinge will lie all the time about their height, about their hobbies, about their looks, so that they can have sex with you all the time.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they don't. Like, I'm not gonna generalize. Like, y'all generalizing so much. Everybody different. That's
women generalize men, men generalize women, but ultimately, if we are having a conversation about tattoos, and I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay, cool. You don't like tattoos. Next point.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. It's my podcast. I'm going to...
What can you say about a woman like that? She's on his show, and she cops an attitude because, well, clearly they're talking about her. Most specifically because she's the one that has the most tattoos showing. I mean, you look at her and you think almost circus freak. Now, I'm 60, so I've covered some generations. Now, back in the day, back when I was younger, seeing a woman with a tattoo, it was a little bit of a, they looked more exciting, they looked more free-spirited, and they were to some degree, but typically they weren't anything like the women you see nowadays like this. You would go to a sideshow to see a woman covered in tattoos like that, and she immediately cops an attitude and shows her true colors and just exactly what type of ego and attitude she is, and tries to snap at him, or does snap at him, on his own podcast.
I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about.
No respect.
You can start
whatsoever.
your own shit. You can start your own podcast.
I don't want to.
But yeah, that's cool. So you're not going to dictate the terms of what we're talking about, what we're not talking about. This conversation about tattoos came up organically. You've been obnoxious all night.
She's reacting to your energy. I could feel it.
What are you talking about?
She's very easy to read. You can definitely tell, looking at her face, the way she's dressed, all the tats. Yeah, she was definitely somebody who was, egging him on the entire night, and definitely had a cocky attitude.
I'm not insulting your tattoos. I'm saying, generally speaking, men don't like tattoos. So what?
Okay.
If I was 5'5" and you said typically women aren't attracted to short men, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's true. But y'all women hate to hear when men ever have an opinion or have anything to say as it relates. As
a man, no.
Yeah, can you shut up also and stop interrupting?
She immediately goes into, you shouldn't have an opinion. And you hear that a lot on the internet, on a lot of these shows where they talk about men. They don't want you to have an opinion. Only their opinion matters. And these two women in particular display that attitude very well.
So look, I've been very patient with you guys, so I'm having a
typical woman
temperature a little bit
has to try and get the last word in.
Allow other people
Brian,
to talk, allow me to talk.
He ain't taking her bullshit.
Not going to really tolerate the interrupting anymore. Ultimately, it is the case that generally speaking, men find tattoos a red flag in women.
Understood.
And you asked for the study. I happen to have one.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Can I put my glasses on to read it?
Nick, go into the... thank you for asking the patriarchy, by the way, for permission.
Can I?
There's that attitude.
You have my permission as the authority and patriarch of the Whatever podcast. Nick, it's in the research that's below resources. It's in the MISC tab, okay?
She actually looks better with the glasses on. Just a sidebar
that comes up. So this is a study that was published in April of 2020. And mind you, 4 of the researchers are women. So there's not some male bias here happening. This was a published study showing skin, tattoo visibility status, egalitarianism, and personality are predictors of sexual openness among women. Okay, so
men don't like it.
I'll explain in just a bit. Nick, can you make it bigger? I think you can hit that zoom in the top right corner. Okay, research indicates that women with tattoos, actually somebody else read this shit for me. Sydney, can you read this?
Sure. Research indicates that women with tattoos are evaluated by more negatively than women without tattoos on numerous qualities. Further, men perceive better chances for sexual success with tattooed women than those without visible tattoos.
Now, if you'll notice on the whatever show or any of them where they have the girls that put up their videos on that site, the of girls, look at how many of them have visible tattoos or are tattooed up like chairs 1 and 2. Now with this picture frozen here, let's go around the room and take a look, and you'll hear when they talk that, I mean, this was my initial, when I first watched the video, my initial vision of the girls, how I saw them. Now the 3 on the end, that'd be chairs 3, 4, and 5, as well as 7, because 6 is missing in this. They're far more conservatively dressed, and you don't see any tattoos. Of the girls on the 3 on the end, the most revealing one is the one that's in chair 3. The rest of them, they're very quiet, and the way they talk, when we get to that, they sound very much like the type of girls that aren't going to be somebody's bed buddy after the club every night. They're probably not going to have, you know, the super high body count like chairs 1 and 2 are.
Despite these findings, less is known about whether women with visible tattoos are more open to casual sexual encounters with their non-tattooed counterparts, and if so, what variables may predict such openness. The purpose of the present study was to explore whether and to what extent stereotype perceptions of tattooed women as sexually open are accurate, and to explore the possible role of egalitarianism in sexual openness.
Of course, they're going to be more willing to engage in promiscuous activities. Okay, allowing some guy to put ink on your bosom, there in your breasticles, is in and of itself a very forward activity and highly sexual in nature. Whereas a pristine girl, a girl who, say, is saving herself for marriage, she's not going to be so willing to let everybody touch the product.
Measures of personality and sensation seeking were also examined. A sample of 114 women, both tattooed and non-tattooed, were recruited through the Western Canadian University Research Pool and various social media outlets to complete the online questionnaire assessing these attributes. Women with tattoos reported greater willingness to engage in uncommitted sexual relations, as well as higher endorsement of egalitarianism and sensation-seeking
as more sexual, yes, and Brian's going to cover this in a moment. And when you see a woman like that, yes, if you're looking for someone to play hide the salami with and not have no strings attached type of thing, friends with benefits type of situation, that's the type of girl that you're going to go looking at. The tattooed up nose ring. Back in the day, the septum piercing was actually cute. I used to like it. But nowadays, there's a certain persona that has grown around that is a huge red flag. Because it's not just being a little rebellious or being, you know, someone who likes to go out and have, you know, fun but will come home and be loyal to their man. Now they're typically the feminazi type that gets all bent out of shape over whatever little thing if you don't agree with their side.
Seeking. Relative to non-tattooed women, among tattooed women alone, several personality and tattooing variables predicted sexual openness. Findings suggesting body tattooing is an indicator of sexual openness are critically discussed in relation to contemporary stereotypes surrounding femininity and sexuality. It's a large study.
There's your study.
What do you mean? All I said is that men perceive them as more sexual, but that doesn't mean they perceive them as they don't like it. Men like sex.
It clearly says right out of the beginning about showing skin tattoos, predictors of sexual openness among women.
For that specific thing, but men assess women with tattoos as more promiscuous. Men, for long-term relationships, don't want to date promiscuous women. Thus, it would be the case that a woman who has tattoos or is heavily tattooed, that's a red flag.
Nowhere in there did they say that men didn't like it. What they were talking about was the sexual openness of the women. And, well, I'll cover more on that. Let's get it back into this. I'm going to jump in here on that before we cover the conversation about it, and that's very true. From my perspective, when I see a woman with a lot of tattoos, like the Sloot in stall 1 there, now mind you, I like her look. I like the gothic look, the studs, the spikes, but her attitude is what wrecks it all. And that's what a lot of women can't seem to comprehend, is attitude is everything. Nor can they comprehend the dress for success type of mindset. I'm assuming she's probably one of those girls. And when you look at a woman that's all covered in tattoos, see, I grew up near a racetrack, an NHRA racetrack. And when you saw the women all covered in tats and the Harley biker chicks all covered in tats, you automatically got the idea that these women were easy. You just had to stroke them right in a conversational sense, and you could be the next to ride on her ride, her amusement park ride, because women that look like that, that's basically what men see in you. Sweetie, you're just an amusement park ride, and, well, we're trying to see if when we stand up against the wall, if we measure up enough to ride for that time.
Bring differently than any other woman at the table to this table. If your best is shared with anyone else at the table, you're playing as a white t-shirt. Please answer honestly.
Yeah.
This too?
I don't know if I understand. I don't understand.
What would you honestly bring differently than other women?
Best is shared with anyone else at the table. What would you honestly bring differently than any other woman at the table?
Yeah. Because you were like, oh, what would men like about you? So like, what would women like about you? Oh, sorry.
Now this guy who just donated the $200, he nails it spot on. You are, well, he calls them a plain white t-shirt. Could just call them a dirty used dish rag, because that's what they are. They're dirty, filthy, used up dish rags. And when you're going to go build a new table and set it, you want a clean dish rag, not something that was used to clean a toilet.
So you said
it's a question for you guys.
You asked me that same question.
Yeah, go
ahead.
And
now he's asking it to you. So you answer.
No, he's not asking it to me.
Yeah, he was saying you.
No, he was asking you guys.
Now she's trying to throw it back at Brian that he was asking of them, when he clearly states, what do you bring besides any of these other women? And this gets into a lot of the difficulty in trying to communicate with them, because they twist it around, they don't understand, and when you try to tell them something different, they want to insist on their way, despite that you point out their misconception. Once they understand something a certain way, it's next to impossible to get a woman to see it from any other perspective than her original perspective. And that can literally take hours depending on the situation.
Oh.
What would each of us bring to the table differently than the other woman?
Okay, here, well, let's just do this. What do you bring to the table?
I'm quite funny and my pussy's really tight.
Stop the cat. Most men don't appreciate the humor of a woman. If that's something you can say straight out, that means you're probably trying to be funny. And even though men laugh at you because you do stuff, it's probably more placating you than anything. And by looking at her, I doubt her second statement is in any manner, shape, or form true.
I love those. I already said me, so you can skip me.
Okay. What about you?
Than them?
No. Oh my.
No, what do you bring to the table?
What do you bring to the table? That's the question.
It's like a hard question because there's like so much you can say. I bring my humor.
again, with the humor. That's... Yeah, if I want humor, I've got YouTube, honestly. There's a lot funnier comedians and stuff I want to laugh at, done by men typically, or I can watch that BB Hanna or whatever, and her reaction videos if I want humor. Because female humor, it's probably derogatory towards men in the long run, and probably something I'm just going to have to laugh at and act like it's funny.
Which is at the top of the list of what men care about.
Empathy.
It is.
Empathy.
And my nurturing.
Okay, what about you, Sydney?
Submission. I would be a very healthy submission, obviously.
Okay, what about you?
I think I bring peace to my partner because I do basically all the things he doesn't want to do. So I'm his counterpart. I'm supposed to be his better half, right?
Kelly, what do you bring to the table?
Right there. Number one thing that men are looking for in a relationship with a woman, someone who brings peace to it. I'm going to insert a clip here of a woman her channel is Moody Speaks. Listen to this woman and how she talks and how she acts. This is a type of woman that brings a lot of calm around her. She's a sublime type of person. She brings peace. You can tell it in her aura, the way she talks, the way she carries herself, her body language. Moody is a very calming person. She's the type of woman that men want to build a home with. The type of woman that when you get off of a hard day of work, she's not going to make you stress out and want to go out, hang out at the bar and watch the sports with the boys. You're going to want to come home to her and not sit out in the car and try to avoid her, because she brings the peace. She brings serenity. Here's Moody.
And again, I know this is off topic, but those white foams coming out of the corners of his mouth are so irritating. I'm sorry, but I had to point it out. Sorry for disrupting the clip again, but let me just say something, okay? I always believe in my instincts, okay? Now, immediately I came across this guy. My instincts told me, oh, now that means this is them. Guys, by the end of this video, you're going to be fluent in Igbo language. So my instinct told me, this is them, okay? The black fatiguers or the black fatigue generators. Starting from the heavy multiple chains around his neck, the very darkened lips. The reference to his dark lips is in no way intended to be an insult from me, okay? For all I know, it could be genetics, but also it could be as a result of smoking something very heavy. I don't know. I'm just saying. But let's just give him the benefit of doubt and hear what he has to say.
Right, back into whatever.
I cook, I clean, I know how to shut up, I'm submissive.
That's a biggie right there. Knows how to shut up.
Oh, can you just tilt the microphone a little bit? Felicity, what about you?
Nothing. I guess I could fold your laundry. That's it. I don't know. I mean, I could say loyalty, but that's like a given.
Loyalty, but that's like a given. She's one of the more conservatively dressed girls, no tattoos showing. It's kind of the everyday good-looking Miss America type of, not pageant type Miss America, but the good-looking American girl type of look. She looks clean. She doesn't look like and doesn't sound like somebody who has to go out clubbing with the girls in the girls' night out. If her man said, I don't want you going out on a girls' night out, she strikes me as the type of girl that would accept what she was told, accept that he was looking out in her best interest, and she would stay around and not give much flack on it, because her loyalty in her own mindset is implied.
Oh boy, all right.
Like, what am I supposed to say? I don't know.
Like, girl, just me should be enough. What do I have to bring to the table other than myself?
Hasty George donated $200. Many men think that nose rings are trashy AF and not very attractive. Why are you trying to prove that you are cows?
Yep.
I love the way that the AI read it out. That was really good. Thank you, George. Love you.
Throughout the entire video, the chairs 1 and 2, you always see that snarky attitude. Even in her, the way she replies to it, yeah, she's very much the snarky attitude. I like the corset with the spikes and the studs and the collar, but the tats and the attitude, that tells me very much. She for the streets. She a gutter sloot. Gutter sloot. Gutter sloot.
You do realize though you don't need a study in every single instance to just have a basic conversation about, you know.
I like it though. That's just
right, but then I could just do this really bad faith thing where I'm like, for every single thing you say that's counter to me, I'm like, well, show me the study.
But
it's just like
I feel like you do that.
I've never asked for anybody to show me the study this entire show.
And that's very true with a lot of these women that you see in the interviews. They want a study. Then when you present them with a study, it doesn't happen here, but on a lot of the street interviews and various things, when you present them with the facts, they want to argue with them. They won't accept the studies. So they only accept studies when it fits their paradigm.
But it's just this really like.
But I've always said it's my opinion. I haven't said like all other people believe this. I know that's not true. You know what I'm saying?
It is my opinion, but it's also, again, I'm not saying universally. There are men out there who do like tattoos, but I don't think that's the exception, not the rule.
And please don't show us no tattoos, no hearts and flowers on your thigh. It's downright tacky. Brands belong on cattle, and that ain't what we're selling at Miss Motors.
Generally speaking, I think it's fair to say men don't.
See, what these women, chairs 1 and 2 particularly, can't seem to comprehend is that this man, Brian, he runs a podcast, and it's his business, it's his livelihood, so he goes out and he studies this stuff. And he has a staff that can bring a lot of the information to him, but they always seem to want cold hard proof. They don't seem to comprehend that he's not going to be putting out a lot of false statements and false facts because it's too easy this day and age to fact check him. And this isn't TikTok, this is a podcast that's supported by viewers that give money to it. And with him, he's not an girl out there selling himself, showing his skin and selling it. So what he says carries a lot of weight, and if they find out he's lying, and this has happened to other YouTubers, if you're lying and putting out false facts, your viewers are going to leave you. So I think when he says these things, for the most part, considering the type of show from the more conservative vantage point, you have to make sure you're right. Otherwise, you're going to get raked through the coals, and they're going to want to be able to stand on something that say, I read this study and whatever. And also, I think she looks Asian, but the one with the brown top, yeah, she looks like she's been rode hard and put up wet a few times herself, and doesn't fit with the others around her very well, in my humble opinion.
Men don't prefer a woman to have tattoos.
What that got to do with me, though?
Literally.
You have tattoos.
Typical female response when you point out something and they're in that group, what does that have to do with me, though? She's not quite as tatted up as chair number 1, but I bet if she were showing a little more, she'd probably have the chest tats and everything else as well. She definitely fits the paradigm that Brian was talking about. And what he's saying, I would have to agree with completely. The guys that are going to go out and hang with the girls with all the tattoos, they're not looking for long-term relationships. They're what they call it today, the pump and dump. The hit 'em and quit 'em. The wham, bam, thank you, ma'am type of girl. Because that's what they look like. And you definitely want to wear a raincoat or 3.
Yeah, but...
And we're talking about an idea here.
I guess we're not... Okay, then we're not bothered.
But like, for example, I wouldn't fight you on the fact that most women are not attracted to men who are short. Like, I'm not going to fight you on that, but women want to fight men. Like, is there anything...
You know what?
Is there anything that men can dislike in women that's acceptable?
Now, I just said that she looks like she's probably just as covered in, the body tats. Now, when she sits back here in her, I don't know, construction zone or hazard zone t-shirt, you can see up on her abs, she's already got, she's just as tatted up, yet she has the audacity to ask, what does that have to do with me? That's the mindset of a woman in general. They don't want to take accountability for their own actions. And when Brian did put out a study that pretty much supported everything he said, they don't want it to apply to them because they see themselves as the exception to the rule, even though they act exactly like what you'd expect a woman covered in tattoos to act like. Stuck-up, self-serving, self-centered, narcissistic of girl. And on the topic of what is it okay to criticize a woman on that they won't object to, I can't think of much, because they all have these standards for men, and if you've watched any of the videos, the second that a man starts talking about what he wants to have in a woman, well, then you're a misogynistic, patriarchal imbecile, and you're trying to oppress women, and the insults will come, and that septum piercing will start flapping because their lips are moving so fast. Okay, this is just about the end of the video. Let's wrap it up here.
That's what I'm saying. Each person can have their own opinion.
Tell me something that's acceptable for a man to dislike in a woman.
I don't know.
Anything
like
and everything.
personal hygiene.
Nothing.
Yeah,
That's
like,
a good one.
Yeah, that smells bad. Like if you don't take care of yourself
That
properly.
might be a hygiene.
So basically what they're kicking out here is things they wouldn't like in pretty much anyone. If a person stinks like, manure, nobody's going to like that, but it's some pretty generalized topics, isn't it? Anyways, that's the end of the video, and Chairs wanted to definitely do a fantastic job of proving exactly the points that Brian was talking about and why men do not, they may find it attractive and sexy the same way that I might look at a new Corvette, one of the new style Corvettes. Yeah, it's awesome looking. Would I like to drive one? Oh, hell yes. I'd like to take it out. Would I want to accept the payments for it, the insurance and the monthly payments to the bank? Hell no. These women come with a lot of baggage. They come with a lot of problems that beyond a hit it and quit it, pump it and dump it, type of wham bam thank you ma'am type of one night stand thing, nobody's going to want to invest in that because, well, everybody's already had a ride, and, well, having a tight little kitty, I highly doubt it for chair number one, because it's probably more like an echo chamber, kind of like that Bonnie Blue. That's a cesspool of seminal fluids. That's what that is. Anyways, I'm Fox Wild. Be sure to like and subscribe. Check out my novels on Wattpad at wattpad.com/foxwild42. You can contribute to my insanity at paypal.me/foxwild42. And if you're a single woman that's not all tatted up, which gets into why I don't really care for tattoos, even though, yes, I do find some of it stuff attractive. I am a Nazarite, thus I'm a Jew, and being tatted is, well, a sin. If you're not over the age of 21 and you're a woman of high caliber, good morals, and would consider dating a man of my seasoning, check out the video Date Fox Wild, Hunting for a Unicorn. That's it for this episode. Semper Fi, Semper Paratus.